Have you seen what these animals are up to? I'll show you the most unreal footage that was captured completely by chance. From a shark that was offered a beer to a real animal police on public roads. Crazy yet adorable situations, but the most interesting part will be waiting for you at the end. On one of the beaches, a brave seagull embarked on an unusual adventure. Spotting a camera on the sand, it swooped down, grabbed it in its beak, and soared into the sky. This feathered director captured breathtaking footage from above, showcasing the beach from a new angle, along with a bit of selfie action. The seagull flew along the coast, leaving unique shots on the camera. And as if satisfied with the result, it returned to the starting point, where a stunned audience was waiting. The story of how the tourist managed to get his camera back remains a mystery, but, undoubtedly, the video became a true gem of his vacation. Similar quirky cases of camera theft have also occurred with other animals, from monkeys to foxes. This story just goes to show that you never know what can happen when you leave your gadget unattended in the wild. How many horsepower are in a cow? It turns out, it can actually boast a certain amount of power. Research shows that the average cow produces a maximum of about 1 horsepower. But, at peak load, its power can reach around 7 horsepower. Of course, this depends on factors such as the animal's health, its size, and the effort it can exert. However, most farmers notice that despite their strength, cows don't particularly like to run under heavy loads. Unlike horses, which, for example, can develop up to 15 horsepower in short bursts. For farmers, this could mean that a cow is quite capable of pushing a light loader, like in this video. Why not help its owner if it loves and is fed? Look at this giant. One glance, and the tourists in the jeep understand that it's best not to mess with this elephant. These animals sometimes chase people just to show who's in charge here. This is especially dangerous if the elephant is in a state called must, a period when testosterone levels increase several times, making the animal extremely aggressive. In one such case, a driver in the Welgewonden Park, South Africa, barely saved his passengers by backing away while the elephant crushed a tree, chasing them down the road. Fortunately, it all ended without injuries, as an elephant weighing over 5 tons would hardly stop at just the jeep. On such safaris, the adrenaline is off the charts. An encounter with an enraged elephant can turn into a real survival race. I would definitely have to wash my pants. Look, there are thousands of them. The annual migration of crabs in Cuba turns into a real battle between animals and cars. With the onset of spring rains, millions of red, black, and yellow crabs head to the Bay of Pigs to lay their eggs. The roads are literally covered with crabs, and drivers have to show maximum patience and skill to avoid them. But even caution doesn't always save you. The shark shells of the crabs easily puncture tires, turning them into an unexpected source of income for local repair shops. Although up to 3.5 million crabs die on the roads each year, conservation organizations are asking authorities to temporarily close the roads to allow the crabs to safely reach the coast. The morning and evening hours become especially tense when the movement of crabs peaks. Cuba is not the only place with such a phenomenon. Similar migrations occur on Christmas Island in Australia and other tropical regions, but in Cuba, this spectacle is particularly impressive. What do you think about this attraction? During one of the flights on a gyrocopter in Australia, a group of people decided to fly alongside a flock of migratory ducks. Against the backdrop of the softly buzzing blades and open sky, the flock of birds appeared in a completely new perspective, allowing passengers to literally soar among the ducks. It turned out that the ducks do not feel threatened when a person on a gyrocopter appears nearby and calmly continue on their way. Some passengers even managed to lightly touch the ducks in flight. Such trust from wildlife is rarely given. The ease of handling and relatively low operating costs make gyrocopters increasingly popular among wildlife enthusiasts and photographers, as they can stay in the air at minimal speeds and safely fly alongside animals. Such flights not only provide a unique experience of observing migration, but also reveal the natural behaviors of birds from a new perspective. Would you take a ride in something like that next to the birds? Photographers in Botswana encountered a rather unusual case. While filming a lioness with her cubs, he accidentally dropped his camera and immediately heard a threatening growl. The lioness didn't miss the chance to investigate the new trophy and approached to take the camera with her. Without wasting any time, she picked up the device and carefully carried it to her cubs. The little lions, just like kids, immediately started playing with the camera, batting it around on the ground, tasting it, and even left bite marks on the lens. Fortunately, the photographer had a backup camera, and he was able to capture this amusing moment. Although the camera needed a little repair after such play, the photographer kept it as a unique souvenir. Now, the lens bears the marks of the cub's teeth, making it a true relic for the photographer's collection. And now, take a look at this cuteness. The case of the baby elephant helping a little girl sounds like a scene from a sweet fairy tale. The baby elephant, seeing that the little girl dropped her hat, couldn't stay indifferent. He gently picked it up with his trunk and, approaching carefully, placed it back on the girl's head. Such a gesture, besides being incredibly heartwarming, shows just how high elephants' level of empathy and social interaction is. This case adds another item to the list of amazing and touching acts that elephants perform in their interactions with people. Two yaks suddenly appearing on the road is no longer a rare sight for tourists in mountainous areas. These furry giants can calmly stop traffic, approach closer, and inspect cars as if they were real traffic inspectors. Drivers often don't know what to expect. Yaks don't attack, but their sudden appearance can cause a bit of panic. An adult yak can weigh up to a ton, and yielding the road to it is not a matter of politeness, but rather of safety. For yaks, it's just another reason to check out what's new in the world of cars and people before going about their business. They say they tend to avoid Chinese cars. An unusual incident occurred at one of the beaches when people decided to help a hammerhead shark that had washed ashore. Instead of being scared, the vacationers showed kindness and even a bit of humor. One of the bystanders approached the shark with an offer to cool off with a beer. In the end, the people helped the animal return to the water, avoiding danger for everyone involved. Such cases show that in extreme situations, people often display unexpected involvement, even when dealing with large marine predators. Hammerhead sharks, while looking intimidating, usually do not pose a threat to humans unless provoked. Now imagine you're diving in the ocean, enjoying the silence of the underwater world, and suddenly, right behind you, like in a movie, a giant whale breaches, splashing water dozens of feet around. Such a sight is truly breathtaking, and some divers call it one of the most thrilling moments of their lives. Whales, especially humpbacks, can leap out of the water at incredible speeds. Researchers suggest that such behavior helps whales communicate and possibly even get rid of parasites. The size of the animal against the backdrop of a small boat or even a person is always impressive. As the whale breaches the water, it creates a whole mountain of water that remains in place after it disappears beneath the waves. Such a sight is so rare and sudden that photographers call it a true stroke of luck for a shot, especially for video. Photographers working with polar bears often use special cages to observe these predators up close and in complete safety. In one such case, while in a transparent protective capsule, a photographer was trying to capture a bear from a distance but suddenly found himself face to face with an unexpected guest. The bear approached closer, intrigued by the unusual structure, and even tried to shake hands with the photographer through the wall of the capsule. Despite a slight anxiety, the proximity of such a powerful animal left an indelible impression. These encounters don't always end well. Polar bears typically explore objects around them and may try to break through to an interesting find, especially if they consider it potential prey. Fortunately, this furry one liked the shots and calmly walked away. When heading out to fish, remember that you could become prey yourself. One such incident occurred when a shark attacked the canoe of fishermen who decided to fish, likely attracting the predator's attention with small fish nearby. Sharks, especially great whites and tiger sharks, sometimes become interested in small boats, mistaking them for prey or simply exploring. Most often, such encounters result in only damage to the vessel, and no one gets seriously injured, as was the case here. The fishermen rolled up their lines and headed home. Poor catch. And here's another minute of cuteness. A man was trying to photograph a deer that ran onto the road, but the deer showed friendly interest and came closer. It seemed like the deer was eager to make a new friend. Instead of running away, he decided to rub his antlers against the man, as if another deer were standing in front of him. Such displays of non-aggressive curiosity, especially from males during the mating season, are not uncommon. During this time, they tend to rub their antlers against trees or other objects to remove the old velvet covering from their antlers or to leave scent marks, asserting their territory and attracting females. Although the situation may seem cute and even friendly, such moments remain dangerous. Powerful antlers can cause injury, and unexpected aggression is always possible. After all, this is a wild animal, so it's important to keep a safe distance and not provoke them. A squirrel, deciding to take a swim in the lake, looks like a true forest nutcase. It's immediately obvious that water is not her element. At one moment, she apparently realized that her swimming skills left much to be desired, and with enthusiasm, she headed toward a passing boat. As soon as she spotted the paddle, the squirrel started desperately clinging to it, trying to get out of the water. In fact, while squirrels can swim, they do so rarely and only when necessary. In the water, they use a dog paddle technique, using their paws and tail for steering, but they get tired pretty quickly and try to get back to solid ground. Squirrels usually swim only in cases of extreme necessity, to cross a lake or escape from a predator. It is believed that they can stay afloat for a few minutes, but then they get tired and start to panic. If there are no suitable objects nearby for rescue, like a branch, floating debris, or a boat, a squirrel can face serious difficulties, making its encounter with a paddle a true lifesaver. Don't be scared, everyone is safe. This is one of the gentlest and most humane methods for releasing ducklings, which involves carefully tipping the boxes with them right into the water. This way, young birds, which are naturally able to swim, safely find themselves in their familiar environment without risking injury from the ground. This is especially important for ducklings, who do not yet have a full set of protective oils. They can quickly freeze if they stay on land too long or get hurt trying to escape without the support of water. Diving into the water allows them to calmly acclimate and continue their journey without unnecessary stress, even though it looks quite strange. Parachutist Jonathan Bishop, having safely landed on a specially equipped site in the Aurora Valley, Australia, encountered an unexpected welcoming group. Two kangaroos, who were peacefully nearby, apparently decided that an unwanted guest had arrived and attacked the guy. At first, Bishop tried to establish a friendly connection by jokingly greeting them with "Hey, Skip." But the kangaroos were clearly not in the mood for a chat. One of them boldly charged and struck the skydiver twice, who hadn't even had time to unpack his parachute yet. The situation, while looking comical, serves as a reminder that kangaroos are strong animals that can show aggression, especially if they feel their space is being invaded. Bishop, however, was not harmed, and the kangaroos soon retreated when he took a boxer stance, which likely scared them off. This is truly a rare stroke of luck. A man who was trying to photograph a deer during a photo hunt witnessed an unusual sight. The deer, frightened by the man, took off running, but in the process, it shed both of its antlers within just a few seconds. As a result, the photographer not only got some rare shots but also a complete set of antlers. Typically, deer shed their antlers one by one at the end of winter or the beginning of spring, when their testosterone levels drop and the antlers weaken at the attachment points, making them easy prey for natural shedding. The process can take several days, but when the antlers are ready to shed, they can fall off literally within a day. Since the man was in the right place at the right time, he got a rare trophy of 2 antlers, a complete set, which is extremely hard to find in the wild. Would you want a set like that? Here's another funny case where animals take on human roles. In the parking lot in front of the municipality, a deer, apparently thinking it was a local inspector, noticed a poorly parked car and decided to punish the offender. At first, it calmly inspected the car, and then it launched an educational attack, butting it with its antlers and forcing the owner to leave in a hurry. At first glance, the situation might seem comical, but for the locals, it became clear. In the wild, even a parking lot at the municipality can become a territory that needs to be respected, especially if deer take on the role of order judges. The other people watched the triumph of the law, frozen in delight. And that's all for now. Write in the comments which case you liked the most and subscribe to the channel. And yes, if you love interesting stories, can write scripts, or edit videos, be sure to check out my Telegram channel via the link in the description. I would be happy to collaborate. And thank you for watching, friends.